Fleet managers across the country are at a major crossroads as they weigh the shift to electric vehicles. A new survey from Mitra reveals that while adoption is not yet the majority, small and mid-sized organizations are feeling the pressure of state-mandated fleet requirements. Managers are calling for better access to one-stop shops that can handle everything from vehicle procurement to charging infrastructure installation. It is a complex transition, but the demand for smarter resources is growing faster than ever.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The electric vehicle market has officially shattered its reliance on oil prices, marking a permanent shift in how we power our transportation. As detailed in a new discussion paper, the plummeting cost of battery packs is the primary engine driving this transformation, independent of any global fuel crisis. We are witnessing one of the fastest technology diffusion processes in history as EVs evolve into highly interconnected platforms. With global sales topping 17 million in 2024, the economic argument for the EV transition is now stronger than it has ever been. The era of range anxiety might be nearing its final days, thanks to a massive leap in battery technology. Greater Bay Technology has unveiled their new all-solid-state battery cells, boasting energy densities that could essentially double the range of your current electric vehicle. These liquid-free cells are built to handle rapid charging without the degradation we see in today's tech, and they are already moving toward production-grade standards. Whether this will lead to a 1,000 kilometer range for your next car is the big question on everyone's mind. Wisconsin is taking charge of its highway infrastructure to ensure drivers can travel across the state with total peace of mind. Wisconsin Department of Transportation Secretary Christina Boardman is leading an aggressive effort to expand charging stations, specifically targeting major corridors to ensure a high-quality charger is never more than 50 miles away. As EV registrations in the state continue to double, the goal is to make charging a seamless part of the traveler's journey. Stay updated on the latest shifts in automotive tech and infrastructure by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. Imagine you are running a fleet of vehicles for a mid-sized business. You know the world is going electric, but looking at your logistics, you feel like you are standing on the edge of a cliff without a parachute. That is exactly where most fleet managers find themselves today, according to a recent survey of 300 companies across 4 major states. While we have seen a massive wave of state-led mandates, starting with California back in 2012, and now spreading to a third of the country, the reality on the ground is that the transition is still more of a headache than a dream. It turns out that managers are not just skeptical, they are practical. They are crying out for a bigger selection of heavy-duty trucks with better range and serious payload capacity. But the real friction point, it is the logistics. Imagine having to coordinate separate contractors for your vehicles, your electrical grid, and your charging hardware. One fleet manager put it perfectly when they said they just want a one-stop shop that shows up, digs the holes, wires the chargers, drops off the trucks, and says, "You are good to go." We aren't there yet. On top of that, there is the maze of government incentives. These programs are meant to help, but for a busy manager, navigating the bureaucracy is like a part-time job they simply do not have time for. Then there is the who fixes it question. If an electric van breaks down on a Tuesday morning, waiting 3 days for a specialized manufacturer technician is a non-starter. They need support yesterday. Interestingly, geography plays a huge role here. California managers are way more plugged in and ready to roll, while others are still feeling like they are in the dark. So, what is the fix? It is not just about mandates. It is about simplifying the infrastructure, making shared charging hubs a reality, and turning local dealerships into actual consultants rather than just showrooms. If we want this transition to stick, we have to stop treating fleet managers like pioneers and start treating them like partners. Do you think mandates are moving us too fast? Or is this the wake-up call our industry needs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on the future of the road. After all, the transition is coming. The only question is who will be ready for it. Remember the 1973 oil embargo? Back then, every time gas prices spiked, There was a surge of interest in electric cars, only for that momentum to vanish the moment oil prices cooled down. It was a cycle of boom and bust, a temporary reaction to a temporary crisis. But what if I told you that the game has fundamentally changed? We aren't just looking at a trend. We are witnessing a permanent economic shift that no longer needs a geopolitical scare to keep it going. The era of the electric vehicle has officially passed the tipping point, and it's time we talk about why this wave is different. First, let's talk about the real hero of this story, the battery. Since 2010, battery costs have plummeted by a staggering 93%. Think about that. We've gone from paying over $1,000 per kilowatt hour to just $108. This isn't luck. It's a decade of relentless innovation and the magic of economies of scale. For every doubling of production, costs drop by about 9%. It's a self-sustaining loop. More buyers mean more production, which drives costs down, which invites even more buyers. It's the engine of modern transport, and it doesn't need an oil crisis to run. What's more, the EV today is more than just a car. It's a platform. Think of it like the smartphone. The iPhone didn't become indispensable because of its screen. It became essential because of the network built around it. Every charger installed, every software update pushed to your dashboard, and every recycled battery put back into the supply chain makes the EV ecosystem more valuable. We are seeing this reality play out globally, from Norway's near-total electrification to Ethiopia's surprising 60% EV adoption rate. But here is the twist. While we are escaping the grip of big oil, we are walking into a new kind of dependency. Mineral dependence. Control of the energy flow from the Strait of Hormuz is being replaced by control over lithium, cobalt, and rare earth processing. It's a different map, but the geopolitical risks are just as high. And let's not forget the human cost. The social and environmental toll of mining these materials is a ticking time bomb for the industry's reputation. However, we are already seeing the market innovate its way out of these traps. When cobalt prices spike, the industry doesn't wait for a miracle. It invents cobalt-free batteries. The shift toward recycling and circular supply chains is turning waste into a resource. The transition is messy. It's disruptive to traditional labor markets, and it creates new centers of power. But it is moving forward at a pace that is frankly unstoppable. So, what do you think? Are we genuinely witnessing the end of the combustion engine era, or are we just trading one set of global headaches for another? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest on our changing world. The transition is happening, but the real question is, who gets to shape it? Ever felt that cold sweat of range anxiety when your EV battery percentage starts dipping toward the red? It is the one thing keeping millions of us from making the switch to electric, but that might be about to change forever. Greater Bay Technology, backed by GAC, just dropped a bombshell, their new all-solid-state battery cells. We are talking about energy densities hitting up to 500 watt-hours per kilogram, which is essentially double what the industry standard currently offers. But here is the real kicker. They survived brutal nail penetration and thermal shock tests without so much as a spark. Think about that. No liquid electrolyte means no fire risk and a whole lot more peace of mind. Unlike competitors struggling to make brittle sulfide or oxide materials work, GBT has cracked a composite electrolyte that is actually buildable. This means we are looking at 2C to 3C fast charging speeds that won't turn your battery into a brick after a few months. This isn't just some science fair project. They are already running automotive-grade production at their Nancha facility. While Western players like QuantumScape are still chasing the finish line, China is moving from lab to assembly line. Of course, the skeptics are out in force, with experts like Aoyang Mingao predicting a slow rollout, suggesting only a 1% market share by the end of the decade. But consider this. If GBT hits their GWH scale targets, we are looking at 1,000 kilometer ranges that make gas stations look like relics of the past. Are we witnessing the permanent shift of the EV crown toward the east, or is this just another hype cycle? The clock is ticking on the internal combustion engine. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the tech that is actually driving our future, hit that subscribe button for the Gadget Review newsletter. It is fast, free, and keeps you informed. So, would you wait 3 years for a 1,000-kilometer range, or is your current car just fine for now? Let me know in the comments. Ever felt that cold sweat of panic when your phone hits 1% battery? Now, imagine that same dread, but you're stuck on a highway in the middle of winter with a car that's running out of juice. Welcome to the world of range anxiety, the biggest hurdle keeping drivers from making the leap to electric vehicles. But in Wisconsin, the Department of Transportation is finally hitting the accelerator to change that narrative. DOT Secretary Christina Boardman recently sat down with the Larry Mailer Show to pull back the curtain on how the state is building a massive safety net for EV drivers. It all started back in 2022 with the NEVI program, which injected roughly $78 million into the state to turn major highways into robust, electric-friendly corridors. We are talking about 78 planned stations, with over 20 already up and running as of early 2026. Boardman's goal is ambitious. She wants to ensure that no matter where you are on the interstate, you are never more than 50 miles away from a high-quality charger. Now, that sounds great, but here is the reality check. Boardman admits you can't exactly wing it just yet. She advises drivers to plan ahead and lean on third-party apps to track down those chargers, even the ones not funded by the state. Interestingly, she views charging not as a chore, but as a potential lifestyle upgrade. Think about it. Instead of mindlessly pumping gas, you're stopping for 20 minutes to grab a high-quality coffee or stretch your legs. It turns a pit stop into a part of the journey. What's even smarter is where these stations are popping up. A huge chunk of the development is concentrated in northern Wisconsin, specifically targeting areas that desperately needed the connectivity. These aren't just plugs in the wall. They are designed to be safe, clean, and conveniently located next to businesses, creating a mini economic boost for the communities hosting them. With EV registrations in the state doubling over the last 3 years, it's clear the demand is real. And with tourism being a massive part of the Wisconsin economy, the state is making a power play to ensure out-of-state visitors feel just as confident cruising in their EVs as the locals do. Of course, there are hurdles, like potential federal requirements to make chargers 100% American-made, which could create some supply chain headaches. But the mission remains crystal clear: to give drivers the freedom to choose their ride without the fear of being left stranded. So, do you think this infrastructure expansion is enough to make you switch to an EV, or are you holding out for a little more range? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button if you found this update helpful, and make sure you're subscribed for more local news that keeps you in the loop. Remember, the future of the road is changing. It's just a matter of how fast we can plug into it.